Hi Pre-Calc, I'm going to help you with your homework. Remember that VA occurs when you have a non-zero over zero, when you have an undefined format. If you have 0 over 0, that's indeterminate, that's actually a whole. So 0 over 0 is not a VA, it's when you have a non-zero over 0. An HA, horizontal asymptote, remember if the degree of the bottom is higher, we call that bottom heavy. Well, I call it that just to help you memorize the rule. If it's got more in the bottom or it's bottom heavy, the horizontal asymptote will sit right on the x-axis, or where y equals to 0. If top heavy, if it has more, if the degree of the numerator is higher, then there's no HA, and if they're equal, then it's the ratio of the leading coefficients. I don't know what I wrote here. This should be ratio of the leading coefficients. Okay, so that's how you, whatever be the, yeah, let me just leave it like that. So let's try some of these. So this is answered homework 2.6 in your book. All they want you to do is find the HA and the VA. Okay, so let's just try a couple of these. So the VA, again, is where the denominator equals to 0, but the numerator does not. So if x is equal to 0, it's 4 over 0, which is what makes a VA. So basically you're setting the denominator equal to 0, just checking the numerator isn't equal to 0. Alright, for HA, this is bottom heavy because the degree of the numerator, if it's a constant, the degree is 0. The degree of the bottom is quadratic, it's second degree. So there's more, the degree of the bottom is higher, so this is bottom heavy. Whenever it's bottom heavy, HA is 0. Because the bottom is going to grow a lot faster than the numerator will, so it collapses to 0. Because 4 over a million is pretty much 0. This is going to get really big, and so the fraction is going to collapse to 0 as x goes to positive or negative infinity. Alright, so again, the VA occurs when the denominator equals to 0, but the numerator isn't. So the denominator is going to equal to 0 when x equals to 5, because then you're going to have 10 over 0, that's a VA. And for the HA, they're equal in degree. So the numerator is degree 1, the denominator is degree 1. They're both linear, they're both degree 1, so you have to look at the coefficients. You have a positive 1, right? The highest degree is actually in the back, it's not in the front. So you have a positive 1 over a negative 1, which is overall going to be negative 1. Alright, this one for the VA, the denominator will equal to 0. Oh, this one's tricky because you've got a common factor here. Okay. Okay, again, 0 over 0 is not a VA. 0 over 0 is not a VA. So this has a VA only at x equals to 1. And, sorry. Oh yes, that's what I wanted to write. It only has a VA when x is equal to 1. It actually has a whole at x equal to 0. I'm not going to go too much into that because, like I said, this course goes really fast. But a common factor, an indeterminate form. Indeterminate means you have 0 over 0. An indeterminate form is a whole. So actually it's 0. This graph has a whole. Okay, now let's look at HA. Now usually when you do HA, usually do it off of the reduced form, but we can see it here. This is top heavy, and top heavy, like I said earlier, if the degree of the numerator is higher, you have none. So you have no HA on this one because it's top heavy. As you go to positive or negative infinity, the fraction also goes to positive or negative infinity because the numerator, since the degree is higher, will grow a lot faster than the denominator, hence the fraction will collapse to infinity or negative infinity. Okay, this one I didn't realize I didn't factor it, so let me just go ahead and factor this real quick. This looks like this, let's see, 2x plus 1, 2x negative 1, 2 negative 2. No, I got the signs backwards. It's got to be positive 2. It's got to be positive 2 minus 1. Okay. Alright, now this one also has common factors, and again, common factors make an indeterminate form, it makes a whole. So at x equals to negative 1, this is actually a whole. Okay, so the VA is only going to occur at when this part's equal to 0, which is going to be when x equals a half. And the HA, if I look at the degrees, they're equal in degree. So for the HA, I have 1 over 2, because the coefficient, because it's degree 2 over degree 2, right? They're equal in degree, so it's going to be the ratio of the coefficients, which is 1/2. So it's a little confusing because the VA comes off of the factored form, the HA comes off of the FOILed out, or the degree of the polynomial. Okay, gang, I hope that helped clarify some of the rules, and I'll help with the graphing. Okay, catch you. Bye.